What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Hey, as you can see, I got this grill sitting in my truck bed that I found yesterday for free. Pretty awesome. Hey, I want to keep going with what I was talking about yesterday, which yesterday I really focused in on all the ways that addiction to pornography hurts yourself. It's not inconsequential. But what I want to talk about today is how it really hurts more than just yourself. And why am I talking about this? Not to put shame on anybody, not to make anyone feel worse than you already feel or don't feel, but because for me, the realities of the pain caused by my porn addiction helped me tremendously in getting free from that porn addiction. So I'm a little bit on edge also because I really don't want this grill to fall out of my truck. So Lord, please keep it in there. Amen. So pornography hurts more than just yourself. There's a macro to this and there's a micro to this. The micro is, if pornography addiction hurts you, then it necessarily hurts more than just you, because you are connected to more than just you. So if I am a lesser quality human being, that is going to impact it's going to impact me in other areas of my life. You know, if I'm getting less sleep, it's going to impact the productivity that I have in work, which I talked about yesterday. But yeah, that's a bummer for you. You're less productive. But also, if you have a job that's admirable, if you have a cause you're working towards that you believe in, then it's affecting more than just you. You know, like, there are people counting on you, depending on you to fulfill your role. Similar with your relationships. If you become more introspective and less secure and more ashamed, there are people who know you that are looking to you as a friend, that are looking to you as a family member, that are looking to you as a role model, that are going to be missing. It's not just you getting worse, it's costing them something too. You're creating a void relationally in other people's lives in the ways that you're connected to them. So anything that you're connected to, like the negative impacts to you personally, are going to impact others also. The other point on the micro scale of it is, especially as it relates to your immediate your immediate intimate relationship, but also your kids, like your immediate family. For me, one of the motivators of getting free from pornography addiction was, I don't want to pass this on to my kids. And I know enough, just common sense, to know that a do as I say, not as I do method of parenting is not nearly as impactful. It's just hypocritical. Oftentimes it's more frustrating than helpful, compared to hey, here's tried and tested, proven wisdom, integrity, like, here's the fruit of my life. Do what I did. You don't have to do exactly what I did, but hey, if you follow in my footsteps, it will go similarly well with you. Like, I've fought this fight before you. I've gone in front of you. I've created a path for you that you can walk in. That's so much more powerful, you know? It's like in a career perspective, you know, one dad, let's say, is like just absolute broke, and is like, hey, here's all the things I did, don't do this. And the other dad's like, you know, whatever, super established multi-million-dollar business that he started, and he's like, hey, I'm going to train you and you can take this over after I die. Like, again, all other factors even, who is better set up for financial success? You know, it's not a trick question, you know. So similar with our character, you know, if you want your kids to be noble people, if you want, and it doesn't even have to be your physical kids, but that's going to be a lot more impactful of a relationship than any other type of mentorship. It's like you're not going to be able to trick them by your words into living an incredibly much more noble life than you lived. One out of who knows how many might see the destruction and despair in someone else's life and then do the opposite in such a way that's sustainable, that creates a better outcome. But like, most people don't get out of the type of environment they were nurtured within. And so from a character perspective, like you want to get free from pornography so that your kids aren't addicted to pornography. And it's gonna be harder to project a pure and noble character in your kids' lives if you aren't able to show them how. They're looking to you as the parent, right? You're not supposed to be looking to them to teach you. I mean, of course they teach you, but like, to be your role model and leader, you know, that's a different level that is not meant to be inverted from kid to parent. So thankfully, I did not have to experience the pain of watching my kids become addicted to pornography. But that is a external negative consequence of pornography addiction that was hugely motivating for me. Like, I don't even want to go there. Unfortunately, a negative external consequence that I did experience was how it impacted Megan. And thankfully, I did not take pornography into our marriage. There's about a 7-month gap between the last time that I watched pornography and our wedding day. And it's not like I was like watching pornography 3 times a day every day before then. You know, for me it was a gradual experience, but there was still of getting free. But there was still a handful of instances during our dating and engagement where I did mess up. I did watch pornography even though I didn't want to, because I was still shaking this off. And watching the way that impacted Megan was profoundly impactful for me. Because Megan's like, she's so pure. She's not a guy. She's not like just super accustomed to like, oh yeah, just everyone watches pornography. Which a lot of people that you know probably are kind of in that boat where they see it as not that big a deal. But again, Megan has this just amazing innocence to her that's not the way she processed it at all. She was more like, how could you even call yourself a Christian and do that? And what, like genuinely asking me, you know, like not attacking me, but like that's how little just empathy she had for pornography addiction. But it wasn't just her kicking the pants. It was her just weeping upon weeping. It was her being afraid to be with me at times, because if I can't control myself with this sexual urge towards pornography, how does she know with 100% confidence that I'll be able to control myself if I have any type of urge towards her? In other words, she's like, what if, like literally, what if Jeremy tries to assault me? Literally, what if Jeremy is like a predator? You know, like, and how do I know that he won't be? Because he says that he's not going to do this, and then he does. And that was hurtful for me to hear. But thankfully, I didn't defend myself. I just laid in the grave that I dug for myself, and thankfully God resurrected me. But it's again, the pain, I mean, just lots of pain, lots of hurt, incredible broken trust, incredible fear, incredible grief, incredible anger, like I have never seen in her for any other reason. And I knew it was all because of my choice, right? Or my choices. So on a micro level, you know, pornography addiction, it's hugely damaging to a potential spouse, to a potential partner in life. And most people in the world probably won't react that openly, strongly, negatively towards you, or have that negative of an emotional experience as Megan did. But those realities are still totally there. Like, there's no one in their right sound mind that is a sexual partner with you is super pumped about you watching pornography. Like, no one wants to be compared to that. No one wants that to be the barometer. And it does hurt. So it hurts their own security. It hurts their own sexual fulfillment. It hurts their own trust in you, which trust and vulnerability in relationship, like, those are huge, particularly in a spouse or like I can't even imagine, honestly. Maybe one of y'all can let me know what it's like, but to have sex with someone you don't trust, that you're afraid in some ways to even be around, that just sounds miserable. It sounds like a horrible experience. And similarly, like, to have sex and not know where the other person's mind is, of like, are they even thinking about you right now? You know, like, it sounds horrible. It sounds miserable. And the point is, those pains are real. Those chasms are real. The difference between a healthy relationship and a pornified person in a relationship it's indescribable for me to try to illustrate. But it's a big deal. It's costing you a lot, and it's costing others a lot. On a macro level, just big picture, I mean, the porn industry is evil. It is so terrible. Like, just absolutely gross, the way that people are treated. And not even willingly, and not even with, like, I mean, like, just the waivers and stuff that are signed. Like, there's just no medical care. You know, it's just like, it needs some regulation, unfortunately. But so even like people who are consenting to serve as porn actors and actresses, like, it is evil towards them. It's evil, of course, in like the fact that the more that you watch porn, the more of a demand for porn you're creating, and the more porn is going to get produced. So you are helping millions and millions and millions of others get addicted to pornography. Whereas, like, literally, if no one watched porn, they would stop making it. Like, if there was no money there, it wouldn't exist. And so for you to be a part of that demand on a macro level, you're increasing like the production of porn content, which has its own wake of destruction in those actors and actresses and different, like, tangential businesses. You're putting more money in the pockets of people that are creating this stuff, which generally are not going to be super wholesome people, and who knows what they'll do with that money. I think, I don't remember, I don't know the details of this at all, but I think, like, Hugh Hefner was maybe like one of the earliest lobbyists for, like, sex education in elementary, middle school. Don't quote me on that, But at least in principle, you can understand that, oh, people that are at the top of the sex industry are financially incentivized to sexualize people as early as possible, and to frame them in a way sexually that engages with the sex industry. It's not in Hugh Hefner's interest for you to have a fulfilling marriage where that is where your sexuality is explored, and that's that. That's not what he's interested in. And so whatever it might be, the undertones of sex ed or what else, you know, it's going to be in a way that causes you to ask questions and have desires that are unfulfilled in normal, healthy human sexuality, and instead are going to be in like pornography, or in just like adaptations to sex life that are damaging in their own ways. I'm not even getting into like sexual identity and all that stuff, but you know, definitely pornography has a role to play in people feeling confused about who they even are as people. And it's more than just the pornography industry, it's also like sex slavery, prostitution, child molestation, rape, like even like the Me Too movement, and just like sexually inappropriate behaviors or oppressive things happening in workplaces. Like, if you don't think pornography is like a sibling to all these things, you're crazy. Like, it's not a cousin. It's definitely not like unrelated at all. Like pornography is it's like the gateway drug to all this stuff, basically. Like, so many people that have participated in the different things that I just mentioned and described, like, it was pornography that set them on that course, that exposed them, that cultivated those desires. And like, how do you quantify the pain, the hardship, the loss that's associated with those things? Like, we're not even, you can't, because it's not even just financial. It's not just like this building got destroyed by a tornado and here's what it costs to rebuild it. It's like you're destroying souls, the trauma there, you know. And then it's not just the pain. Again, it's also the opportunity costs. It's not just what's it going to take to get them back to a functioning adult. It's what could they have become had that experience not happened to them. I was in this conference once. I've told this story before, but the lead pastor, just at the end of his message, he just asked anyone that was willing, vulnerably, to raise their... I think he was asking women specifically, if anyone had been affected in a negative way by the pornography industry. He didn't ask any of them to explain why or in what specific ways, but like substantively, whatever. Have not just like, are you sad that pornography exists? Like, has it actually directly negatively impacted your life in some way and what you've experienced from others? And it was like 70% or more. I mean, just hands everywhere in the room. There's thousands of people, and this is like a Christian town in the Christian state, you know. Like, it just opened my eyes to like, oh my gosh, this is not just my problem. This is not just my thing. This is killing everyone. This is affecting everything, everyone. And for us to be spending our time licking our wounds that came at the expense of some type of negative sexual experience that inevitably is tied to pornography at some point in the, you know, precursor to that experience, it's like, it's just a travesty compared to, we could be allocating our thought resources, our emotions, towards happiness, towards productivity, towards accomplishment, towards common good for the world. You know, like, there's just too many important things for us to be sitting around all messed up, you know? And pornography's messing us up, for sure. No doubt about it. Even like divorce, guys. Like, how many divorces have happened because of pornography addiction, whether directly or indirectly? I'm like, guys, what? You know, like, that's, how do you quantify that? You know, like, oh, you think it's just your problem, and then all of a sudden your kids don't have a parent. You know, like, what? You know? Or how many of you that are watching this don't have both your parents in your house, you know? It's like, what, I can't